بالميامين هداتي من بني هاشم بخاتم النبيين أخي الوحي أبي.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to our series of The Great Trust. A family that prays together stays together. Prayers are a spiritual food for any soul, and any gathering that has a mention of God in it is full of blessings. Now, considering all this, if this positive trait is instilled in our children from a tender age, it will definitely bring light and success into their lives. In our last week's session, where our main focus was on instilling Islamic and religious values into the hearts of our little and tender children, our alima looked into the household of our Holy Lady, EP18 Zahra salamullahi alayha, and got so many points from her life. And she explained for us how to instill these regular du'as that we have, the daily du'as, the ziyarats, and to make them fun and practical for our children. To learn more on these religious values, without further delay, we will welcome our alima Razia Batullah Jafi to the studio. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And welcome once again. As I always say, you're like a spiritual mother to us, who's guiding our mothers out there to mother their children. Inshallah, your reward with Allah is ample.
We got from Ahlul Bayt. Alhamdulillah.
In continuation of our last week's session, where we saw how we can build on some religious values into the hearts of our children without making it too much for them, because sometimes we have concerns from parents that children at this young age don't need to be bombarded with religious values. Exactly. We just want to let them play and take the natural course, and things will sink into their minds later on. But no, we saw that it is important to guide their thinking, their mentality, their spiritual power into the right direction. As we say that every child is born on the nature of Islam, on the faith of Islam. So definitely we need to guide and nurture them. And as you told us so many examples of and you quoted for us that from ages 2, 3 onwards, the religious side of the child is ready to intake the Islamic teachings and values. We would like to have some more final points on the prayers, the prayer times into the life for our children in this young and tender age.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah, we were looking a bit in some glances of the best house of the world, which is the best mother of the world, Hazrat Fatima Zahra salamullah alayha. So house of the best mother, definitely it is the best role model for us. As we have talked about her house, as we know that history has written that house was the smallest house, the simplest house, one of the houses of the Medina, but its effects was biggest, longest, and the most profound. As we know that the hero of the Karbala and the heroine of the Karbala, Lady Fatima Zahra's daughter, Zainab salamullah alayha, they were raised in this house.
Right, yeah, they came out from this house.
Yes, and the most of the time our Holy Lady Fatima Zahra salamullah, she used to spend in her house. So we as a best mother, we should look at how was the house, then we can get the best example, right, and best teaching from this house. So we know the house was the small, and simple. So definitely it's necessarily they don't have a separate room for each child, especially nowadays, with bathroom and all these facilities. But this smallest house, maybe it can, we should notice that why this house has they have designed a special area for namaz and for worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is the most important thing. Even in that simple house, they have one special area for namaz, and they used to pray.
And another point that here they lived close to the masjid, the mosque of the Prophet was not far away. Still, the need to have a prayer room is something
because
really
most
nice.
very because it shows that family bound and family gathering is very important. And then there are some mustahab and recommended things, like how again nowadays what is important for us, the location of the house and
Right.
where it is located, like in which area it is.
Right.
But for Fatima Zahra Salamullah alayha, it should be nearer to the mosque, area wise, and even inside the house there was a beautiful mosque, we can say, because hadith says that for women, for mother, the her room and that area, that place, special place for namaz, that is the mosque.
The mosque,
yeah,
right.
and not for women, even for all mankind, family members. Islam says the time of ihtizar, when the last moment will come,
breath, right.
last breath. So it's recommended to put not inside the mosque. They said put
right.
the area where the person used to pray. So that's why we see very beautifully that not only she used to send her sons to mosque, and she used to ask them back about the sermon, as we know, Imam Hassan alayhi salam and Imam Hussein alayhi salam, because we have just few examples. Otherwise, her house was full of beautiful examples. There was every second lots of noor and light and message were there. But we have to get to know until this time, after more than 1,000 years. So we can see that this house has the spiritual comfort and the emotional comfort and the perfection of the physical, spiritual. This is the perfect and beautiful house which a mother and the parents can create for the child. Yes.
So we see that for our viewers, just a reminder that it is very important to have an area in our house specially assigned for the prayers. Or prayers could mean not only the 5 daily prayers, it could mean other mustahabats or just du'as, for example du'as on Thursday night, or any special du'as that can be done in the special area assigned for prayers only. Okay, Alima, back to you. There is this famous hadith of the Prophet that says that the best of you is the one who teaches Quran and who learns Quran, and the best person we can teach Quran is our children. What points would you like to impart to our listeners, to our moms, to our dads especially, that how can you implement the love of Quran in our children? Because Quran is nur, it's guidance from day one till the end. So how can we implement the Quran into the lives of our children?
Yeah, if we get to know the hadith which is emphasizing a lot and informing us about the reward of teaching Quran, as mashallah you have mentioned, then that love of teaching and practicing upon Quran, it will increase in our in us, means as a parents. As this is again one of the famous hadiths which says that if a teacher, like any muallim, any teacher, maybe the parents they are muallim, maybe they hire a muallim, teacher. So if a person teaches to his child Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, but as we know in the time of the Prophet and A'imma alayhimus salam, the teaching of Quran was with understanding. Nowadays we are very far away from Arabic language, and Islamic culture. Nowadays we have unfortunately American and Western culture in our life. So many things which was ABC for them, it is so difficult for us. So we know that our Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, they had a Quran with, in bracket there was the meaning and ta'wil, because the Quran with hadith was the real Quran, and there wasn't any Quran without means a bit tafsir and sharh and a bit interpretation. So there was a summary of Quran there, like a summary of interpretation and translation, and the actual Quran. So they used to have this kind of Quran with themselves. It was so common. Not just Quran, just recitation.
The Arabic.
So we are not recommending our parents that they force their children to recite, and read this has sawab and nothing else. No, even Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, we can teach them with meaning. Nowadays, as we have mentioned, that our kids are so intelligent, very smart. They pick everything more quickly, compared to other times. So if a teacher teaches Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, what Allah will give, that is something very amazing, because it's easy to listen, it's easy to read, but we should ponder about it. They said that Allah will, give that teacher bara'atum minan nar, like exempt him from the fire of hell. Bara'atum minan nar is not easy, it's not a ordinary thing.
Yeah, because for teaching them the voice of
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Because in month of Ramadan, in Joshan Kabir, the main thing which we are keep asking again and again, repeatedly, is Subhanaka ya la ilaha illa ant al-Ghaus Khalisna minan nar. Khalisna minan nar. Not only in Joshan Kabir, even in Dua Mujir, we say Khalisna minan nar ya Mujir. Not in Dua Mujir, even in after namaz, which dua we said, Faqina adhab an-nar, Faqina adhab an-nar. Oh Allah, protect me, and save me from the fire of the hell. So what it shows that
even in Dua Arafah, there's a whole dua along the way. The end is one line, one verse, Faqina raqabati minan nar, that save me from the
again
fire
and again.
of hell.
So it's not an easy thing that if I'm teaching Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim to my child, and like according to his ability and the way capacity, if he could understand what is Rahman, what is Rahim, what is Allah, especially after 5, we said it started to teach them very, very gradually and step by step, very, very politely, a bit about the interpretation and meaning of Quran too, with small ayat. It is very effective, and it gives so much fruits, inshallah, to parents.
Right. At this point, Alima, we'll take a short break, our viewers, and with this very interesting point, we'll leave you that just teaching a child a short verse of Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim does give a person a big reward, that is protection from the fire of hell. I will get back to you after a break. Thank you very much. Welcome back, our viewers, and I will continue where we left about our topic or our discussion on the best verse of the Quran, which is the Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alima, you mentioned that you should teach the child this with, as our imams used to do, as it was common in their times, to teach them the Quran with a little bit of understanding, a little bit of knowing what you're reciting, not just reciting the Arabic and not catching any of it. So for our little fellows, for our little children from 0 to 7 or even older, where they cannot understand Arabic, unfortunately nowadays it has become a barrier. The language has become a barrier for them into understanding the Quran. How can we practically implement Bismillah into their lives?
Yeah, first of all, we should, we can discuss with them that why we should start our job, everything, each and every action we can start with Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, just not, something very good or very important job. No, whatever you want to do.
Even if it means waking up in the morning, or
just before homework, and even before play, because I'm playing for Allah. So why we should say Bismillah? And then Allah itself, we know the Allah means one of the best name of the Allah, but Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, why Allah has extended with his name Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So we can say that again, the concept of hereafter, it comes, like we say, because we want to, Allah has created us forever, and we have endless life hereafter, and we will go and we'll meet our Allah directly, inshallah. So we want to do whatever we want to do. We want to remain, we want to have the effect of that work.
Preserve the
nobody
effect.
likes something which get destroy or finish very quickly. We want everlasting things. So we want our all job, our each seconds, Allah is watching us. Allah can give us the reward from our jobs, in our actions, and everything. Every moment is because of Allah. Allah is the most powerful, and He is so kind. So we start our this homework, even the play, with His name, because of Him, and with knowing His existence. We know that Allah has given us this power. That's why I can play. That's why I can write. So I start with His name, because everything He has given to me, and I'm doing this job because of His pleasure. Yeah, so automatically we never ever do something which is, which cause His displeasure. And then Rahman Rahim comes. Rahman Rahim is like, again, how much merciful He is, like, and then it's so, we as a parent, we need a lot to instill the kindness in our child, so we can take help from these beautiful attributes of Allah, that Allah is Rahman and Allah is Rahim. There are two names, both meaning has, meaning of mercy and kindness. So if you're asking to Allah, be kind with me, and if I'm not kind with others, then I feel shy and shame to ask Allah that Allah give me this, but I don't want to give that kindness to others. I don't want to share my things to others. So whenever they are in good mood, and as this is one of the technique of tarbiyat and training, that whenever they come to you and hug you and say, Mama, I love you, sometimes they come. So that time you say, yeah, my son or daughter, I love you too, and this and that, whatever you want to give them advice, and put in their hearts some very essential points, you can put that time. So that is very important, and when and how we should teach them this religious training, which is the most essential thing in our life.
The child, right? Okay, so that was about Bismillah. When we come to other short surahs and memorization, because obviously if they know all these surahs al-Fatiha and other short surahs, it will help them when they have to recite namaz in the next few years, like if from 9 for the girls and very soon for the boys themselves. How can we again implement the love of surahs into them? Do you advise on memorization from a young age? What does Islam say about this?
Yeah, from very young, like after 2 or 3, it's good to memorize. Like how we put some rhymes, So we never think that these rhymes are a burden for our 2 or 3 years old baby or boy. So like that, because Quran itself has a lot of rhythm, and that rhyme and that beautiful, So it's so easy, even it's very suitable with their nature. So they like it, they love it. So we are not forcing them at all.
And as you said, it's in their nature, it's in the fitra, so they should like it anyways.
Definitely. How they love the azan and iqama. And inshallah, we forget to discuss about Azan and Iqama a bit. The prayer time, so when we have designed one place, one area for namaz in our house. So I have seen, mashallah, most of the parents, they do, alhamdulillah, that their children, they recite loudly Azan or Iqama at home, especially weekend days like Saturdays, Sundays, or Fridays. Especially for namazes Zohrain, because most of the time they are not at home all together, but they do namaz Maghrib and Zohrain, but the kids, they recite and they love it, they like it, and how much effect that even they don't know sometimes the meaning, but the effects are there still. So it's good if they memorize the small surahs, even if they don't know the meaning in the age of near 3. After 3, 4, now you can talk to them more about some meanings and understanding of Quran. And then if they wants to memorize some surahs, you can talk to them like, look how beautiful this surah is. For example, Surah Kawthar, for example. Surah Kawthar is so easy, the smallest surah, shortest surah. And we can say, like, we can make a friend, for them. Like my son, he knows, for example, 15 surahs, 14 surahs. So every day we have to,
keep up the memorization.
Otherwise, they forget it very easily. So I asked him that which of your friends you are missing him, because you have so many friends now, alhamdulillah. Before you had only one, then two, then three, then four, now four surahs, so which of them you are missing? So he said, I'm missing Surah Kausar, for example, Surah Tawheed. So let's recite, because why he's your friend, and really they are our friend, because as we know, they will form in the shape of huris or beautiful beautiful face or shape, and they will come to us. And exactly this is the wording of hadith. We are not making it. It's so easily hadith is saying that the surah will come and ask and like the surah will say hello, hi to us, like when we will come out from the grave, then we'll say who you are. So the surah will say, you don't know me, you don't remember me, whole in this world life, like 40, 50, 60 years, you used to live with me. I'm your friend. I'm, for example, Surah Qari'ah, Surah A'la, Surah Fatiha, Surah Tawheed. So now come, I will take you, come, I will make you visit. Right? So that's why I say, because my son is 5, so I can tell him, because now he knows the concept of this. Unfortunately, Spider-Man and Batman. So I'll tell him that this Surah Tawheed is a super man. It will come, and wherever you want to go, whatever you want to do, you can do it with this Surah. How much big help it will do, and how much power this Surah has. And even in this world, they will give us power, but we can see more power hereafter.
Right. This is a very interesting point for us and for our viewers, of course, that making surahs lively for the children, making the practical. Sometimes we use the examples that, as we say, the Surah Al-Fatiha has the cure for all the diseases and illnesses. Sometimes I do that to my child. I tell him that this is the doctor of the Quran. So if you're not feeling well, or if you have, if your body's aching, or if you're hurt, or if you have a wound, then what do? Just call the doctor of the Quran. So recite Surah Al-Fatiha. And other examples as well, as we have Surah Al-Duha, which Surah Al-Zilzal, that helps us to find our way in a busy road. So Surah Al-Zilzal will be the traffic police of the Quran. So just a few points. When we see that children are attracted to this, why? Because the Quran is nur, and anything good is going to attract the child, because their inside is also nur, right? Their batin is also nur.
And even Surah A'la, some people they say it's a brain of the Quran,
right? Because it helps in memorization, makes your memory sharp.
So mashallah, you have mentioned about the doctor of the Quran, about the brain of the Quran, about the traffic police of the Quran. So beautiful.
So once they memorize these surahs, then not that we have to tell them the meaning of all the ayats, but just to tell them the gist. This surah helps you in this surah helps you in this. So the love of Quran into their hearts.
Exactly, no doubt about it. Yeah, definitely.
So in later years, we won't have parents complaining that our children are away from Islam, they don't want to pray, or because if they have this very basic and true teachings of Islam from a young age, they will obviously bring door and light into
as
their
I
heart.
mentioned before, we as a parent, we have to take that pleasure from Quran, like how mashallah you are taking pleasure, that this surah is like a doctor of the Quran, and whenever I get sick, I recite this, and then you are teaching automatically to your child. So first of all, we should know, we should have that love, and if we enjoy, definitely they will enjoy, they will do whatever we do. So as they said, Imam Hussein alayhi salam's one of his son, a muallim, a teacher, he came to teach him Surah Hamd. When he finishes Surah Hamd in very early age, so then Imam Hussein alayhi salam, he gave to teachers so many reward, like not only coins, dirham, dinar, but some dresses and so many things. So some companions, they were watching, and they said, yeah Imam, so much you are giving to him. He has he has taught just one surah, Surah Hamd. So Imam said, what do you know? Whatever I'm giving is nothing, but what he has taught to my child is so much. So how much our Aimma, they know that how much important this kind of teaching it has. That's why they used to give that much respect to muallim of Quran, the teacher of Quran, not for other teachers. Nowadays unfortunately sometimes happen like they don't give that much respect to muallim of Quran. Later on when they do tajweed and when they do a bit more recitation of Quran, but they give more importance to that regular other tutors and school teachers, because I myself as a mother or as a father, I don't take any pleasure from Quran. The Quran is not has that much status in my life. So if I'm not giving importance, then the child will not give it.
Not take importance, right? With this, our viewers, we would like to end our today's session, and we'll have to practice everything bit by bit as we learn. And today our main focus was instilling the love of Quran into the hearts of our little flowers, so that they can take full pleasure from it and take its due reward that it has in it. With this, we'd like to end. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.